Hey everybody, Charlie902 here, and welcome to Riven, the sequel to Myst. Now, unfortunately, like the Myst 2021 remake that we just completed the playthrough, and if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. This has not been redone with full 3D graphics. This is more of a FMV style old school adventure game. This is the 25th anniversary edition, which is the Scum VM version. So all you Riven fans out there should know what that means. I personally don't have a clue what that means. That's just the version that's for sale on Steam. I've never played this game before. I don't know any of the puzzles. I've heard that it's harder than the original Myst, and I'm going to do my best to make it through this playthrough without looking up any answers. Now, there may be times where I may just be completely stumped. And rather than set for episode after episode after episode banging our heads, if I get 100% stumped and after giving it a wholehearted effort, I need to look up a hint, then I will, just for the sake of continuing gameplay. Now, if that happens, which I 100% don't want it to happen, I'm going to try to make it through this playthrough without looking up anything. But if it does, I'll be sure to, one, put into the comments how many times that's been done and when that's been done. Not the comments, but the description of the video. And two, I will tell you exactly after the cut that happens. So if I look up anything, I will let you know. The intent is not to look up anything at all. And just like my playthrough of Myst, if I'm going to brute force a puzzle, meaning if I'm going to do a repetitive action, which could potentially take, tens of minutes, even hours to do, I will cut through that sequence and then resume the video once we've gotten to the answer for that. And I'll also let you know when that happens. So without further ado, we're going to get into this gameplay. Now, before we start, just want to let you guys know I don't have any graphics options. So this is going to look decidedly old school. I've tried to fit the frame as best I can within the video here. So you can see here's the bottom of the screen. Here's the left. You're going to have a black bar on the left. And then there's the right. There'll be a black bar on the right, but hopefully not too much on the top or the bottom. So let me know in the comments if the video settings as far as how it fills the screen looks okay, but there are no options as far as like resolution or anything like that. Here are my options. And then when I go to setup, it's just a gamma setup for brightness and then for sounds. So now there is a saved game because I did try to start. I didn't do anything other than let the first FMV run, and as it was running, I noticed I didn't have my screen set up right. So I decided to restart, redo this intro, and try to get this screen to fit a little bit better. So let's go ahead and start a new game. New game. All right, so distributed by Ubisoft. Yeah, literally only the first 5 to 10 seconds of the first FMV video started to play, and I immediately exited out of the game so I could try to fix the video settings a little bit better. All right, and looking over at my preview, it looks like there's the tiniest of black bars at the bottom and the sliver of a black bar on the left and the right of the screen. We should be good. I do have my notepad here, ready to take notes.
Thank God you've returned. I need your help. There's a great deal of history that you should know, but I'm afraid that I must continue my writing. Here. Most of what you'll need to know is in there. Keep it well hidden. For all reasons you'll discover, I can't send you to Riven with a way out. But I can give you this. It appears to be a linking book back here to Dunny. But it's actually a one-man prison. You'll need it, I'm afraid, to capture Gan. Once you've found Catherine, signal me, and I'll come with a linking book to bring us back. there's also a chance, if this all goes well, that I might be able to get you back to the place that you came from.
Okay. Am I in control now? I don't see a cursor. Oh, still FMV.
Jo? Vad får det är ju? Kan ta vara på. Om du går på mig på. Tagema. Rekoa. Tagema. Så rekoa. Visirapo. Visirapo. Umutika bukua nai. Visirapo. Umutika bukua nai. Bukua nai. Visirapo. Bukua nai. Bukua nai. Bukua nai. Bukua nai.
You get hit by a dart? Try not to talk too much during these FMV scenes, especially since I can't seem to find subtitles. Okay, they're letting us out, it seems. Did you destroy the book? Okay, looks like we are in control now. So a lot to digest from that intro video. First of all, before we do anything, I want to say I actually prefer the live action over the 3D generated character model that we viewed on Myst 2021. It appears that we went back to the same author, I don't remember his name at this moment, and please forgive me for not remembering it, who had the two sons from Myst. It looks like we were in the same room that we found at the end of Myst when we went into the Green Book. And he said we need to go here into Riven to find Catherine. Now, remember, Catherine is his wife. And he said we needed to take this fake return book, which just got stolen from us, in order to capture, I forget the name, the big bad in this world, I guess. So, lot to digest. I got to figure out how the interactions work in this game. It looks like we just click to go forward. How do we turn? Okay. Edges of the screen to turn. And how do we know what to interact with? Okay, so that's where the guy ran off to. That's where we just came out of. Can we go into it? Yes, we can go into it, and we can turn around. Okay, I feel like there should be more directions to turn, but that's a 180 degree, I think, that we're doing. Okay, what is this? Okay, so there is a menu at the bottom, so I do need to resize the screen. So let me pause the video, and I'll come back from the edit after resizing the screen so you can see the bottom section here. Okay, I'm back. I have shrunk the video so that you can see the bottom section here. It appears that there's going to be some sort of inventory or some type of interaction down here. I wanted to make sure that you guys could see that. Up until this point, I didn't know there was going to be any type of UI down here, so I apologize for the cut. So this is me trying to figure out how to control this old school FMV adventure puzzle game. So let's go forward again. And how do we know what we can interact with? Is it a right click to interact? Or do we just left click? Yeah, we just left clicked. Okay, so there is a combo to get into this hatch. All right, we don't know that yet. How do we back out? That way? All we can do is go back. And then what does this do? This is a book. Oh, he did say everything we need to know is in this book. So let's do some reading. 87-610. They held for more than 30 years, but the corrections I made to Riven have finally failed. The island has resumed the familiar pattern of decay that is the hallmark of my father's work. I must now race to implement this new patch before it's too late. I only hope that my revised theories are sound. Revisions to Riven completed. There are still a number of minor adjustments which need to be made, but the basic corrections have been entered and should be working. Something's not right. I've been monitoring the instruments for several hours now, but have thus far observed no change. It's possible that I've made an error, though I've checked my entry against my prenotation and can find no discrepancy. I've not had a rest in nearly 3 days, so it may be that I'm just not seeing it. If the fault is with my foundational assumptions, however, perhaps after a short rest I will see something. Flip the page. Success! It appears that my repairs have been effective after all. The gateway image has become noticeably clearer, and although it is impossible to know this with absolute certainty, the island seems to have quieted itself. Just a few more weeks of work and I should be free, at last, to go there myself and attempt to bring Catherine back. The past 8 months have left me little time to think, to devise a strategy for getting her out of there. I've received no sign from her in all that time. I am afraid that, no, I must assume that she is all right, lest my fears undermine my efforts to bring her back. I did not create the Age of Riven, unlike my father. I have never presumed to have such power, and yet the future of all those who live there has fallen into my hands. All that live there. So there's a bunch of people here, more than just the two we've seen and Catherine. So far, I've managed to read the page before it turns. The island continues to appear stable, and I would like to believe that I have saved a dying world, but the theories of one individual cannot support the lives of real people indefinitely. I must get everyone off of Riven as soon as possible. The problem now is Gen? Am I pronouncing that right? Gen? I'll never be able to rescue Catherine and relocate the islanders if he is still the man he once was. I haven't seen him in over 30 years, but his history forces me to assume that he is still a threat. His myopic mission to restore the Denis civilization has left too many innocent cultures dying in its wake, and would continue to do so were he to once again be free of the confines of Riven, or the Fifth Age, as he coldly titled it. Does that mean he created this world? Does that mean Gen created Riven? I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. The universe has been safe from his corruptive influence for the last 33 years because no one has been able to leave that age. The last linking book out of Riven having been lost in the Star Fissure upon my return to Myst. We do not know what the Star Fissure is, but feel like we're going to find out. That was my intention, to maroon my father on Riven by removing all the existing links to other worlds. So Gen is his father. And since the art of constructing books had long been lost with the fall of the Denis, he would be trapped there for the remainder of his lifetime and effectively segregated from the countless other worlds that he would have invaded. All right, so we got some information here. We know from the last story that the guy who handed us this book, Catherine's husband, has the ability to manipulate the realities of these ages and even create these ages, as they call them, through writing in these books. His sons tried to replicate that power and they struggled. One of them was a stone ship. One of the sons tried to create a ship, tried to write it into existence. It didn't work. It got embedded into stone, and he was upset that he couldn't replicate what his father was doing. So they found other ways to manipulate the denizens and the ages inside of the ages. So now it appears that the father from that story from Myst, the guy who gave us this book, I'm sure I probably was told his name, I just don't remember at this point. His father appears to be Gin, and Gin created this age that we're in now, Riven. So I'm sure we're probably going to figure out some more about that. So I'm just trying to make sure I get all this straight in my head before we try to go on and shove all these puzzles into my brain and try to figure out those. All right, let's click next. In effect, that is what we achieved, but the way it fell, however, was no one's ideal. Though the sting of the incident has gradually faded from my memory, the deep pain of the responsibility for what actually came to be has never left me. At the time, it all seemed so clear. Gen's destructive path could not be allowed to continue. But it was never my choice that the innocent inhabitants of Riven, who had already suffered so much, would be the ones to pay for it. Okay, so they tried to capture him. Something happened that affected the citizens here. Enough. To dwell in the past is to die in the present. Well, that's a cool line. I like that. The situation is not the same as it was then. The knowledge I've acquired in the years since that time has yet to be applied to this problem. I think I have the solution. Why it did not occur to me sooner, I do not know, unless the idea of it had been pushed out with the thought of my sons. And that's what the last story was about. A prison book. Many years ago, during a hunting expedition through the ruins of Denis, I chanced upon a formula for a most unusual type of book. Formula. Unfortunately, due to the fact that my father was then in the habit of confiscating my discoveries, I was forced to leave it behind. Years later, however, as part of my efforts to protect the vulnerable worlds linked to the books in my library, I was pleased to find that I could still recall most of the formula, and with a little experimentation, quickly succeeded in creating one of these devices myself. The procedure is actually quite simple. By altering key lines of text but slightly, a normal linking book's connection can be partially severed, such that anyone who attempts to use the book will be permanently trapped in the dark void of the link. That is, unless someone else then uses the book, at which point that person would become trapped and the first person displaced back into the world. Okay. The technique can be applied to books that have already been written, changes to the original text being so slight that anyone who is unfamiliar with the code will be unable to detect them. If indeed my father has not changed, what better bait could there be than a book that appears to be a link back here to Denis? Hey, that rhymes. He says code. Makes me think like lines of code in like a computer program or simulation. Trouble. My nightly analysis of the island's condition has revealed that the tremors have begun again. The pattern, however, is new. The disturbances are the result of the changes I have made. This did not at first concern me, however, tremors of this type were one of the possible side effects that I had anticipated during this initial phase of the island's readjustment. Still, in order to verify my assumptions, I decided to calculate again or incorporate in the new data. The results were not what I expected. The damage to the Undestructor is more extensive than I realized. I can no longer go to Riven as planned. Catherine, forgive me. I must act while I still have the time. The signs are barely visible, but there's no question that the island's deterioration is accelerating. Total collapse is imminent unless I can keep ahead, and that is becoming increasingly difficult to do. With every passing moment, I gain a clearer picture of the incredible chaos that my father's economy of words has yielded, but is a dismaying process. The complexity of the problem is overwhelming. There's no end to this. The last few days have all but convinced me that the collapse of Riven is inevitable, and that at best I can only strive to delay it now, and hope that at some point the island will become stable enough to risk a rescue attempt. So the island is not stable. Does he think it's going to collapse into the ocean? I think I've come up with a way to subdue the tremors. It will require my exclusive attention for at least a month or two, so it may be necessary to discontinue these journal entries for a while. Okay. 6 days later, something truly miraculous has happened. Beyond all conceivable probability, someone has finally found my lost Myst linking book and has freed me from this prison. That's me. I immediately realized that this could be the solution to my dilemma, and I believe my mysterious benefactor is willing to assist me. I'm still not sure it can work. The logistics of such a scheme are formidable, but the mere fact that it may be now possible for me to continue my repairs to Riven and yet proceed with my original intent to find Catherine has given me renewed hope. The last few days have left me little time to work out the remaining problems with sending someone else to Riven. It did occur to me, however, that if a way could be found to signal me once Gen had been captured, it would no longer be necessary to take a real linking book to Riven and risk the possibility of inadvertently releasing Gen. The deteriorated state of the gateway image makes the use of a visual signal impossible, but the picture remains a reliable indicator of Riven's condition nonetheless. By measuring and interpreting variations in the noise patterns, I am still able to observe basic changes that occur in the age, even though I cannot see them. The problem is that my instruments can only detect changes that occur on a fundamental level, and it seems unlikely that an individual could affect such an elementary change from within an age. The idea might be foolish. Still, there is a known weakness that may be worth investigating, an anomaly that appears as a rift between two separate systems, the Starfisher. Here's the second time we've seen Starfisher, so that's going to be important. But how, or even if this fact could be exploited, I cannot say. Sending someone to Riven also means that once I received the signal they were ready to return, I would have to leave my writing in order to take a real linking book there myself. However, provided my father was safely out of the way, this should take very little time. After that, assuming the island does not incur much damage in my absence, it should then be a relatively simple matter to hold it together long enough for Catherine to return to Riven and evacuate the remaining islanders. Predetermining a signal without knowing the topography of the island may prove to be impossible, but I'm afraid there can be only one answer to the question of whether or not I should send my friend to Riven with a way out. The potential for failure will be greatly diminished if the prison book is all that is taken there. I'm sure my father is expecting me to bring a linking book to Riven. May he not be disappointed. All right, that's it for that. How do we get right there? So nothing to tell us how to do this. We will come back to this. We can look up. Okay, this looks like a cistern, some type of holding tank. There's a dome back here, and I'm just kind of moving my mouse over to see if there are any like indications that I can click on or touch something. Doesn't appear that there is, but I'm going to click nonetheless. All right, let's look over. Okay, so we went from looking up back to looking normally. Oh, we can go closer. Okay, we can go over that. It's going to take me a little bit to get used to this UI. Can we go forward again? No. I wish there was a difference between the hands UI for touching something and a movement UI for moving somewhere. Can we look up? We can't look up. Let's go back. Let's turn. And we turned 180 degrees. I'm going to have to get used to that because I'm expecting there to be 4 directions, and that's not the case. Normally games like Legend of Grimrock and some of the older RPG games of the past, dungeon crawler type games, you would press this direction, you would turn 90 degrees to the right, but this is 180. And this, oh, we can look down. So there's a cliff here. Don't think there's anything else. All right, can we look down here? We can't. We can go forward. There's a lever here. Can we hit this? Is this a button? Okay. So that is opaque. How do we go back? I'm assuming we have to empty this out to look in here, but we need to have this open. I may be thinking too much. There also appears to be Some type of pulley there. Can we flip this back? We can. So it gives us a open hand when we go over that. All right. That looks like a sword or a gladius. Can we interact with that? Oh, so see here, we did turn 90 degrees. That's okay. 90 degrees. And what if we look this way? 90 degrees. So yeah, there are 4 directions here. So you will turn 90 degrees if there is something possibly to look at. I'm assuming this is just here because it would be weird to have 3 directions instead of 4. Can we touch this? Oh, that's what he hammered in. He hammered in something to keep this open. It looks like a smaller version of that gladius or dagger that's in the ground behind us. Okay, let's go back. Let's go forward. That looks like some weird roller coaster. So yeah, I think what's going to stump me on this, more so than the puzzles, will just be I will just miss something. I think that's what'll get me. Those of you that watch my Myst playthrough, I missed a note that was laying on the ground from the very beginning. Okay, so this has a hooked finger. I imagine that means it's going to turn 180. Yes. This does not have a hooked finger, so I imagine that means 90 degrees. Yes. Can we go closer? Oh, we can look down. Can I grab your anything? Doesn't appear so, but he is dead. All right, let's go back. Let's go up here. All right. This first episode will be a little longer. I aim to try to get my episodes about 30 minutes, between 30 and 45 minutes. First episode will go a little bit longer just because I had the technical difficulties at the beginning and the exposition. Continue on. Up. And we'll just keep looking. Can we look down? I want to make sure I don't miss anything. And then the hooked finger means we'll go all the way around. Okay, so we got a bridge to a smaller island. That continues on. We're definitely going in there, and it looks like there's a button there. And that's where we came from. All right, let's go forward one. Hit this button. Rotating room. Very slowly rotating room. Can we peek into the room from this? We can indeed. So we have a pentagram inside of a pentagon. It's not really a pentagram, is it, if it's not in a circle? We have a 5-pointed star inside of a pentagon. We have a scarab. Very Egyptian looking in here. 5 points here. That's the symbol we saw at the very beginning of the game, right? For Riven. There appears to be text on the wall. Let's go back. Let's rotate it again and see if we can go inside of here. Okay. It has at least 3 positions. Okay, now the pentagon with the 5-pointed star inside of it has moved to the left over here. We have writing on the right. Okay. Let's move back again, press it again. I was considering doing face cam for this. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If I do a face cam, I can show you my notes if I draw any maps or anything like that, but this will be the first video that I've done it for. Just let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Going ahead. Okay, so there's a scarab on every wall. Okay, so here's the door, which doesn't open, but you can look through. Okay. That's just the journal. I don't want the journal. Let's turn around. What's this say? Oh, am I supposed to be able to read this? I hope not. Does it say something over here? No. Oh, these have... Huh. So I'm gonna write my first notes down. So what are we gonna call this room? I'm gonna call this Scarab Room. Scarab Room. It rotates into 3 positions. Scarabs have like a stained glass. Appears to be a deity. Let's see if they're the same. They do close on their own. How did I go to one of them? Are they all the same? No, they're not. Oh, we can view it larger. I was getting ready to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pages are falling down. They're being distributed. These guys are going to war. What is he doing? Oh, these are what... All 5 of these must be related to this guy. And each of them are doing different things. This one is building. This one is teaching. This one is going to war. This one is doing science, it appears. This one I don't know. Just pages falling from the sky. Okay, let's back out of that. See if we can go to another one. Book. Shredding trees to create paper. Burning the trees to create paper. Worshipping, and there's 5 of them again. 5 suns. 5 points on the star, pentagram, 5 fingers, 5 suns. Definitely something to do with 5. What it is, I don't quite know, but there's something. All right, how do we get back? Come on, go back. Let's click this one. Is this the same one we just did? It is. Turn to the right. Let's click this one. Okay. This guy is creating sun, planets, stars, night, humans, animals, plants, fish, insects. This is the guy. This is the big guy, right? Is this, what was his name? Get? So it would be this one's next, right? Yep, and he is a deity. Everybody likes him. Just want to make sure I don't miss any of these. Let's go right, because I was having trouble. I think this is one we've already seen. No, it's not. Okay, so he casts someone down with a book. This is the symbol. Okay, I think that's all of them. And we can't open this door. We want to open this door, but we can't. All right, so let's go out of here. So yeah, there's 5 scarabs, each with, I'm making my notes here, each with like a stained glass story. Okay, note taking complete. Let's head out of this room. And we're gonna go across this bridge. We can look this way. Should we go across the bridge? No, let's go down here first. We'll come back to the bridge. That's an easy landmark to find. Is there supposed to be transitions between these screens? Is that one of my options has done this? I'll have to check and see. It's like an aloe plant. Just making sure I can't click on anything. That should be, oh, see? Almost missed that. There's that symbol, that little knife thing. Can we pick it up? We can't. But we just went under this. Okay. Straight. There's electricity. Ah. And we can see into here. Now this is through the scarab that we're looking? Turn around. That's where we came from. Is there anything else? No, it just goes straight to that. So let's try. If this goes this way, we need to spin it twice, right? If it goes clockwise. Yes, so we need to spin it twice to get the opening that we're looking at to go to the right. And one more time. I don't know what this is going to accomplish though. It just seems like I'll just be able to enter the same room just from that cave rather than this cave. Oh, wait a minute. Twice. Oh. Oh, I see what's going on here. So twice, there's 2 exits. The, here, let's go look at it. This door here appears to open up. So that leads to that dome. What we need to do is make it to where we can enter over here and come over this way. So if we're looking at this room correctly, and maybe there's 5 positions rather than 3, we need this entrance. Actually, no, we need this entrance to go over so that this entrance is pointing that way. So I would imagine we need to turn it 1, 2. Because now the star's point should be facing us, correct? No, it looks like it's turning further than that. So this actually may be where we want to do. Also, I want to see if arrow keys or WASD will move us. And it will not. All right, let's go check right now. I think we need to move it twice, but I want to make sure. Yeah, go through here. Yeah, all right, so we need to move it back again. We can't just open that now that we're in here? Guess not. All right, let's move this one more time. Also, let me know in the comments if I should do 30-minute videos or 1-hour videos for this game. I feel like 30 minutes is good, so if I do have to do some editing, I can make the episode feel a little bit better, if that makes any sense. Because I can take more breaks and I can fix anything I need to fix as far as like dead space of me racking my head against a... Here we go, we did this. All right, so we open this up, but yeah, like I said, I don't know what that does for us because this is still closed. And then this would be the way out. We'll have to figure this out. For now, we're just going to exit and go under here. And that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider to like, a comment, and or subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.